3,000 in there. So if Hive start winning, man, don't be United fans better make some noise, because I don't know if they're gonna be able to, you know, out chat them. Okay, I don't know if they can get more lines than them.
eUnited is just too different, man. Built different when it comes to how they implement social media and just everything else, man. They're just nasty with it. All right, Regency control. We've seen this now. This will be the third time for tonight. We know the M-bar fight is a big engagement, right? Is a big power fight, power struggle off the beginning, and Powerz is looking to answer back, and 4 down for eUnited. Wow, great start for Hive.
Yeah, beautiful start from Hive. Great fights there from INZEM up top to save Solurs, help get the power weapon. And you're going to see Hive with this one under their control. The eUnited members lost their 1v1s on the lower portion of the map. But at this moment, they know that the M-bar is not close to this hill. So they're going to try to rotate down and get in while they can. But they're dodging nades, they're dodging M-bar shots. But they're going to start contesting and get real scrappy in this hill for the remaining 30 seconds.
Definitely going to have to get scrappy. Praized misses the first shot, misses the knife. The only respite, though, is Demise does connect on a TJ with the nade. That gives Xplosive free reign to just lock in the additional points. 20 remain. Now that you have to be focused on the rotation. Kenny battling tooth and nail in this 1v2. Teammate just to his right also has Powerz there. Team pickup will be in, and that's going to be INZEM losing his life. Solurs is also left to bleed out. Demise and TJ, the only ones on the map currently, and they now have to push in for the next. They're set up to do so, but look at that distance they have to cover. As soon as they go up the steps, EU is going to be peppering them with Snup, with Lancer, and just everything they can throw at them.
Yeah, eUnited, they're going to be exactly ready for them as they start trying to come up these stairs. Hive, they're rotating around towards the flank, want to get 2 players there. I'm pretty sure there is no power weapons up in this moment of the map, but the next team fight, we're going to have to start thinking about those. But Powerz on your screen, right-hand advantage, pushes his opponent back. eUnited, they match the numbers, and player 3 will win his 1v1. That's Kenny. Kenny's watching that power weapon as well, but he knows he needs to support his squad mates. It's 45 seconds left on his hill. Plenty of time. TJ's trying to go for the flank to help his teammates out down low. Kenny has the Lancer fire behind. The double kill is there, and now TJ's caught out. A perfect team fight for eUnited.
Yeah, starting to wake up. That's that first fight, man. I was a bit worried. Hive wiping 4 members out off the start, but eUnited ever since has been waking up. Great engagements, and that dominant slaying power starting to come to the forefront. Shock in the hand of Praized. Powerz throws out utility. He guarantees himself an M-bar. Very well done. First M-bar goes to Hive, but now eUnited gains the second, and already with the point lead plus hill control, and also trying to set up for the next. They're going to have to knock Hive off, because currently TJ is set up inside hill. He's not going to be easy to deal with.
Nah, he won't be easy to deal with whatsoever, as we're going to be rotating towards gold, down low in the left-hand corner of your mini-map where player 7 currently is. Going to have this M-bar try to rotate around the top through the spawn. Powerz connects, gives his team a man advantage. They know exactly where at least 2 players are, so they want to put their focus there. TJ wins his battle, so now eUnited are going to take their numbers towards the spawn side. INZEM misses his back A there, goes down without taking one to the grave, and in this moment, it's eUnited with a 1-man advantage and an M-bar in the hands of Powerz. Maybe a little bit too much power.
You know, man, Powerz is just so good. How old is Powerz?
Old enough.
Is he old? old enough. Okay, fair enough. Old enough to hit those shots. Demise, we'll see you later.
Well, yeah. I just can't remember, but I want to, you know, he could be in the back of his teenage years, because we did get on the circuit a few years ago.
But that's the thing, when he joined the circuit and became dominant, like he was young, right? Whenever he became really dominant.
Yeah,
it's just almost like dyslexic.
16 and Gears of War 4.
It's almost like dyslexic being you know, the young god now, right? The young prodigy. Powerz was once that. He still is that. I mean, he just won a championship. I don't know what storyline I'm trying to build, but I'm just throwing things out there, seeing if it sticks. All right. Powerz, I think, still has one more shot with the M-bar. I'm not sure entirely. Kenny rotates over, meets TJ, and I assume the new M-bar will be coming up very shortly, and that should be over towards Hive. We'll see what they can do with it. eUnited has a decent lead. They should be a little bit comfortable in this spot. But as we do rotate over, okay, so TJ not fighting for the M-bar. He's actually just setting up now for the next hill. Fair enough. This is a difficult one to get many points from because of the many different angles you have to lock in.
Yeah, you have to, because you could definitely contest this, but you got to stop the Lancer cross coming from the right side of the mini-map towards those spawn sides, and Powerz gets the power weapon, able to take out a player as he back rolls. And now eUnited's going to start pushing out the spawns. They're trying to figure out exactly where are they spawning. Kenny got caught off guard. The misroll is there. They didn't recognize the spawns came in so close to center map there. And so eUnited in a defensive position now could be on an offensive position with it being a 3v3 now.
It's the second time Powerz is connected onto Demise. I know Demise is getting frustrated. He's like, get the hit bar out of Powerz' hands. INZEM, can you chunk? Okay, there you go. Fair enough. He's chunked. Can't get Kitty, but you get the bar gone. At least that was the main objective. Hive just on the outside of that ring. They're not contesting. Push in. But then again, it is a 3v3. You got to play this appropriately, or else you could be losing more points than you would be gaining. Xplosive, Praized, great job holding their ground. Praized takes down Solar. Xplosive is going to move in. The rest of the cavalry from Hive is here. But now you're fighting for 29 more seconds. And again, when eUnited, they already have the lead. That big fight that just took place, that took what, maybe 15, 20 seconds? eUnited wasn't gaining points, but neither was Hive. So it kind of cancels itself out and eUnited stays in the lead.
And so now we're going to rotate on over towards Fountain. And this is a similar setup that eUnited had at the previous hill. And you're going to see eUnited, you know, kind of cover one or two heals just to get the points off the one, because that's how far spread out their setups are. They want to cover multiple lanes and have a presence there just so that they can get the numbers called out, get the intel, because there's so much space between some of these locations. You get the intel and the numbers, for the most part, your opponent can't shift them. They're going to have to fight, but you could definitely shift your defenses in the right place.
United spread out. It's going to be a 3v4 as player one is left to get the points in the hill. Fair enough. That's going to put eUnited most likely towards the 200 point mark, and that much closer to obviously 300. TJ teared it up. Great eliminations on the Kenny and Praized, but you got to run into Xplosive, which the Lancer Fire to Teamfire will take them down. You can notice eUnited is going to spawn on the opposite side of the map. This is going to give a great opportunity for Hive to break this hill.
Powerz like, hello?
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do, and TJ just going to go ahead and take him down. Now, coming into the fight, though, for the retake for eUnited, you got Kenny with the fresh M-bar, and then somebody has the nades, I thought, unless they just threw them out.
Yeah, they do.
So
Xplosive has them.
Okay, he does. He does. Or is it Praized who has it?
It might be Praized. One of them got it, but they did pick it up. Praized. Yeah,
Praized got him. So that's going to be big. But I don't think, eUnited doesn't even want to fight for the scrap time. And that's the good decision. You already have a nice lead. There's no reason to try and force a fight for 15 seconds.
Especially when it comes down to you just got the power weapons, and they would have had to trek all the way towards the other side of the map, but then trek all the way back to the other corner for around 30 points of contention. But instead, they set up defense. They cover all lanes. They got the nades. They got the M-bar. And even just by staggering these kills, they're going to just acquire points. And that's when you could use, have that offense be the best defense.
All right. So Hive is prioritizing that bottom side. This has kind of been a theme they've had. They like to attack the opposite side of the hill so then they can rotate in and kind of collapse in. Powerz is going to be in a huge position with that M-bar where he's currently at. Now, luckily, he turns around, good communication to kind of sniff out where TJ is going to be. Still, the fight's not done. Solurs is able to inch his way up. Powerz forced to retreat back. The M-bar, 2 more shots remain. eUnited still gaining those points. And I also like the fact that they're rotating players out. Powerz will sometimes stay in. Praized will sometimes be there. Kenny and Xplosive are pretty much the factors to kind of rotate around the map and be in constant engagements. But for the most part, they understand who is there to kind of be your anchor player, to kind of get your consistent points. And Powerz is still alive, man. This guy won't go. He won't die. He just won't leave.
You got these guys meleeing each other, reviving each other. He ain't even over there, and they still fighting each other. Like Powerz, they hop back into the hill, and they're fighting each other in the corner. That's the type of player he is. He got them jumbled up over there. They don't know who to fight.
Well, things are getting definitely scary for Hive. I think they said in chat like beekeepers are getting stung. I like that. That was pretty creative. I'm not gonna lie. Praized is gonna drop. Demise will pick him up. No one on the hill, but they're focused on the next. Oh, Kenny gets ran through. Well done from Demise. The new addition replacing Hefe, as Hefe was also a new addition very late into Split 2 Phase 2. Demise joining back into the mix in the fold. He played very well yesterday. I was incredibly impressed with his overall slaying capabilities. This time, though, much, I think, tougher opponent overall. But Hive, the potential to come back is here. You just got to do everything very well, and that's a great start. Kenny is gone.
Yeah, they have to, right? But take into account, eUnited just continues to play the long game, and they get the most out of each one of these heals. And you know, even though some of these fights are slower and they're not technically playing as fast paced as a squad we saw like Fire and Ice earlier, they're just slowing down these fights and they're just thinking ahead. They know when they got to fight, they know when they got to slow it down, but ultimately they feel like they're setting the pace.
Yeah, Regency is a map where you can slow it down. You don't have to be fully aggressive all the time. Naturally, when you do get into the team fights, as in this case, it's chaos. It's chaotic. You don't have much coverage. You got to try and use whatever you possibly can. And in that case, 4 down for eUnited. But again, you can slow it down. But one thing that is for certain on Regency, the map is huge, as we were talking about it as we transitioned into training grounds, you know, in a previous series. If you do lose a team fight like eUnited just lost 4 down, look at the impact it has. Hive gained every single point from that last hill. Not only that, in the secondary team fight, Hive predicts where eUnited's going to be spawning up. They have a flawless victory there, and now they are a full force to be able to rotate for new.
All right, Hive feeling good currently on this side of the map. 2 M-bar shots in hand. 5 seconds left on the hill. You're going to see that shot grenade get picked up. Nate is going to be on the other side there, and Kenny's going to be able to grab them as well. Maybe even see a new M-bar as player 1 is going to get that towards the top. It's about just under a 100-point lead for eUnited, but they win this fight with all these power weapons. You see how they're getting set up for a victory push? If they lose this team fight, this whole map's going to go crazy because they're not going to feel like they have control anymore.
Yeah, this is a big win for Hive. Shock is in. Kenny drops. Solurs doesn't take advantage of it. Worried about the M-bar. INZEM, though, will connect on to Powerz. Kenny also falls, and the comeback is very real if this teamfight goes to the way of Hive. Still, a couple of stragglers from eUnited remains, and the possibility for them to take this hill and get points is there. Solurs, full red, forced to back up. The pressure from eUnited still there. He's going to get aimed out. Powerz takes him down. Demise is in. Powerz with the M-bar takes down 1. He still has more to deal with. How does he get out of this situation? It's not going to be easy. It's a great shot onto Demise, not enough, and Hive wins the fight. It was long-winded, but those 30 points are going to be much warranted and much needed.
All right, so eUnited couldn't make plays with the nades, the shocks, the M-bar. They couldn't get what they wanted, so now it has got a scrappy. Hive's out the hill because eUnited is going to keep forcing these engagements, keep it stalemated. They want to be able to rotate for next. They don't want Hive to get too far past this 200-point marker, and they will not after all of this chaos. eUnited is going to build off their lead here. They will attack on these 20 points, and at this stage of the game, man, scrap time is everything, especially with eUnited being over that 250 margin. And so now they can kind of, they're trying to get towards next. They currently know that they have a little bit of an advantage, but not too much of one, as their opponents, man, they're rotating quick, but they did get the kill.
Yeah, you mentioned scrap time, right? And I think there's different importance of, of different priorities. You have different priorities throughout as the match continues on. Early on, scrap time doesn't really matter. You want to prioritize the next hill. But in eUnited's case, right, this late in the game, scrap time puts you that much closer and inches you closer to 300, right? And it also applies pressure to Hive because now Hive has to fight for every inch of the map, including the scrap time. You can already see eUnited just within striking distance of 300, less than 20 points to go. And Hive is yet to even gain a foothold in this fight. Plus, you got Powerz with the M-bar. Great body shot. Demise, he's won. Powerz, he doesn't even take him down. eUnited, they are well on their way to winning this, and I think they just did.
Yeah, they just did officially. eUnited will strike first in map number 1. Man, good job to them. And Taylor, you know, when it comes down towards that scrap time, I think one of the best cases to stay for scrap time is when the next hill goes center line for those stalemates. For those 50-50 hills. So they're not, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, because when it's center line like that, you also open up the opportunity to kind of rotate freely across the map. You have many different angles you can take.
You're going to have a quicker route to the next hill also.
But scrap time in like garden, you know, over like just on the other side of the map, kind of like that, and you know the next hill is going to be on the other side of the map. You can't afford to send your team over there to fight for that scrap time because, yeah, it's a journey, and you're going to be at a big disadvantage once you finally do reach the next hill. You got to prioritize certain hills. No, it really risk and reward, you know, risk mitigation, which hill is worth the risk for scrap time. Again, you have different priorities, and there is a certain ebb and flow of how control will work. In the beginning, things aren't as important as certain things would be towards the tail end. Scrap time being one of those things. Power weapons off the start do play an impact. You want to fight for the M-bar off the rip, but then again, you don't really have as much impact with the power weapons as you do when things get crazy, like, you know, you're tied at 200, you're fighting for the next hill. It's interesting. There's a lot more dynamic than I think people understand that comes with control. People right now are saying, oh, it's boring, it's just constant fights and this and that, but it's a very complex game mode, and teams are still wrapping their heads around it. Strategies are going to continue to develop over time. Hence, for example, that brilliant play Precision, killing, who was it? I think Handles or Zysho on training grounds, so he could then spawn over with the team to challenge on Overlook and also lock in the drop shot. That's a brilliant play, and new strategies like that will continue to develop and adapt over time.
Man, if anyone thinks that is not any strategy in here and it's just running around and constant fighting, they aren't watching the same thing that we're watching, Taylor, okay? And I would love to have a conversation with them about strategy if they will want to do that one. Because I think it is a lot of strategy and control, especially in the grand scheme of things. Like you said, you already named it all down. So when it comes down to the rotations, the power weapon placement, even just key power positions on the map, it gives you a height advantage. And we're going to start discovering some of those on each one of these based off of every single heal. But, we saw escalation strategies kind of be used a little bit on training grounds during the VQ matchup that we watched earlier on. So it's definitely a lot that goes into it. And, to be able to control the pace, it ain't easy.
It's not. eUnited, you said they would be good on control. I believe you now. They played that very well. Bit, iffy off the start. That 4-man wipe that Hive was able to get off the initial had me a little bit worried. It's just the first engagement. But once eUnited started pacing out the map, Powerz really heated up. Kenny had some phenomenal frags. I think overall he's just a great player. I mean, how can you discredit the Egghead? eUnited, once they got heated up, they were a force to reckon with. The rotations were on point. They were crisp. They really were. And again, I felt control might have been one of their weakest game modes because it's one of the newest ones. You don't know how some teams are going to play control, but I always expected them to be very strong on execution and escalation. And those are the next two maps coming up.
Yeah. Those are the next ones coming up. And a big portion of that, Kenny used to be a part of one of the best King of the Hill teams in the game when it was played in the circuit, okay? So I know that he has a master class of knowledge when it comes down to spawn systems, rotations, when you should be setting up and when you should be moving, as well as the rest of the members on his team who have played multiple respawn game modes outside of Gears and just understand the systems and what goes into that. And because they are just multi-talented gamers over there. So if they don't have that knowledge in now in their gameplay, it's going to just get more solidified into their play style as time goes on, and they will become a stronger control team. But I love what I saw out of them on that last map, controlling the power weapons, rotating early, setting up, forcing their opponent to have to break through some difficult defenses. And they played that very well. They set their defense so far away from their heel and forced their opponents fight in different locations just to keep racking up that time, have higher percentage 2v2 and 1v1 fights than they would in a chaotic 3v3 or 4v4 fight because they chose to turtle at the back of their heel and give their opponent the easiest play that they can make.
Powerz, again, I highlight him. He was deadly. He was just absolutely incredible. Also, to mention, we kind of set up the narrative earlier on when Fire and Ice was playing. Currently undefeated, 6 maps in a row. They haven't dropped the map as of yet. They're currently 2-0. And one of those other teams that could, kind of follow suit with that is, in fact, eUnited because they won yesterday 3-0. So if they get 3-0 Hive here, not only would that be a massive statement, but they would also match the record of Fire and Ice, which would be incredibly impressive. But let's not point the discussion to execution. Clocktower, it's coming up next. Clocktower, as it loads in, it's an OG map. Who are we looking forward to be the top performers for eUnited?
Praized. Dude, Praized, man. I'm looking for him to be that guy, okay? If I recall correctly, when he played this map in UE and even back in Gears of War 1, he either played the 1v1 position down low or he played secondary. I think it was either one or two. I would be scared to play against him on secondary, because that's a spot where you can, you can have your Lancer out and your pistol, you can put some fire out, but he's gonna have a shotgun out on the other end shooting bricks at you as you're shooting Lancer bullets. So you got to make sure not to get hit with a shot that gives him enough confidence to say, you know what, let me just go ahead, push around here and make the play for the squad.
All right, might be a quick round here. Let's see how it works out. TJ already brought down the full red, but still alive, and you can tell Hive is going to be trying to work together here in a 3v4. Where's the other player? You also have to keep that other one down low in check, right? But in this moment, Powerz does pick up the snipe. Can he get out of there? Well, the team pickup should be in, and you just gave Powerz a snipe, Hive, and you're also down a man. This is not going to be easy.
They didn't see him creeping up. They didn't see him creeping up. Praized and Kenny, the smokes came out. They threw the flashes. They were making a lot of motion there on that line that they could not stop the quick pick. And there's the first headshot. And from here, it's going to be nothing but chaos as Powerz pulls out the shot. He actually kept out the snipe for the wrap shot. And I think he did connect on that player's back. But in the end, eUnited's strategy was to get their young gun, his favorite weapon. And they did that and won the round.
Fair enough. I like it. Good stuff. Good start for eUnited. As I said, I don't know if there's going to be many teams that can really challenge eUnited when it comes to execution. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm starting to think back on, the grudge match between, you actually had a chance to cast it with Colin over on eUnited's channel, but the grudge match between eUnited and Pittsburgh Knights. It was just one side of eUnited dominated. I'm thinking back to E-Days as well, where eUnited was just a powerhouse team when it came to execution. Most of their shortcomings then actually was on Escalation, funny enough, whenever we were having this kind of competitive rotation. But INZEM unfortunately takes himself out. Those nades are down low, so my question is, how did he end up killing himself? Did it ricochet incorrectly maybe and fall back down? I don't know.
That's what I'm feeling like. I just felt like he missed the nade and it fell down, and he's like, damn, I just killed myself. I didn't see anyone. Now, I will say this, that you can look down low in that middle and get some great Lancer fire there to be able to stop that pickup now. That's something that you were never able to do on other versions of this map. Now, some teams were able to throw their nades up, but as far as shooting down from up top, that's new. And I didn't see anyone shoot down, so I just think he had a blunder.
I think he definitely got a blunder, and again, those nades are down low, so he most likely meant to throw it up top, catch a player from eUnited off guard, exactly where they are, but at least on the opposite side, and I think it just fell down, and before he knew it, he was dead. Unfortunate, but it does happen. You got to take those risks sometimes, but you got to get your lineups down. Okay, he might be wanting to make a move. A lot of Hive members are starting to rotate up for the long shot. Xplosive is going to be down. Powerz needs to rotate in and get the pickup. He's not going to be able to do so. For the first time, Hive will strike first with first blood.
Yeah, and Hive did that very, very well because they forced Kenny and Praized into this corner, and they moved up to that pillar to get the angle, but they didn't stay for long because they knew their opponents were going to move up, and that's where they got that kill on Xplosive. With a man advantage, they back up, they get the frag grenades. eUnited is forced to press up because they don't want to sit back and wait for nades to come to them. They want to make plays, find kills, and they're doing just that. 3v2 on the map, and now Hive, they're finally on the board.
Well done, and that first blood, influential, right? We talk about the previous matchup between PK and VQ, map number 5, different map checkout, but regardless though, those first bloods, that's when the team is going to strike, and Hive did exactly that. I think it was Xplosive who fell early on, and then Powerz just could not get the pickup, but fair enough. Round number 4, let's move into it. eUnited won this other side quite decisively, and this is also where the nade debacle ended up occurring. So 2 and 6, big fight down low. Demise will win that. So Demise should be able to pick up these frags, or excuse me, INZEM will down low. So we'll see how much of an impact that's going to have. Currently, eUnited 4v3.
Oh, yeah, 4v3, but you see why Praized, he's going to have to push across to distract some of these players, but they run right into the Lancer fire of Hive, bricks across the board, and they tried to capitalize off of it, but they tried to capitalize with their numbers, but it just couldn't get across in time. And with Hive getting that first initial down, that staggered eUnited fighting as a squad.
Okay, so no one prioritizes the torque bow down low. Everybody's got to focus on the balcony fight. And we've seen it done once. I've seen it yesterday. I forget on maybe it was Rise versus Oxygen. I think Oxygen tried to go down for torque bow. It didn't work out well. He was isolated. Yeah, it was
even
if
it was a drop shot down there with 4 shots, I don't think you go for it. I still think up top is where you send most of your numbers, and that's always how Clocktower been played out. Because yeah, you can get the power weapon, but at this level, you're not getting out.
Powerz picks up those frags. He's still going to be kept in check by player number 2 down low. It's INZEM. Praized will drop TJ. Still, no blood has been shed just yet. There's been a lot of shots, a lot of close calls, but finally the nade will connect. Powerz picks up the snipe, and Powerz will take down Demise. And thing might, or at least right now, things could collapse for Hive. See what Powerz can do with this long shot. He's got to connect. Solurs is down. The finish is in. TJ now trying to fight for his life. Good spacing from Xplosive. Kitty finishes off the other one. Bit of a longer round. And at the end, it's eUnited taking the victory.
Yeah, man. They're working very, very well when it comes down to picking up snipe on their good side. Powerz is trying to find the right moment in the chaos to go for the quick pick, and Xplosive knows that he will sacrifice his life to get him to back roll to that pillar because it's going to pay dividends for him on the scoreboard. And every time that quick pick has worked, they have won the round. Hive needs to put some focus back there, and that player who's playing that back pillar for Hive, being Solurs, he needs to want that snipe as much as Powerz.
INZEM picks up the frags. This could be a scary thing from Xplosive. We'll get the long shot. Solurs will down Xplosive. Kenny is also gone. A great opportunity for Hive is here. Powerz last alive, fighting for his life. He's about to be collapsed on, and he is gone. And just like that, Hive will tie it up 3-3.
Great job there, and Hive is doing they're capitalizing off that quick pick now. They're not letting it come through for free. They're starting to pick up on eUnited's patterns and their smoke patterns and flash patterns and things that they do when they want to go for that snipe. So now they can react just a little bit faster. You know, so much happens towards the beginning of the round. We don't get a chance to see where every single nade lands. You know, in the next gears, I would love a nade tracer and a spectator. Hell, this gears, you know, I would love to just see it fly across the map, see exactly where it lands. And you're going to see that one banked off the back pillar, stuns the secondary. Gives Hive a nice opportunity to push, and they go for the back pillar shot on Powerz. And even with 2 players there, they can't pick up on the kills, and eUnited, they're going to eat.
Worst case scenario, man. TJ pushes up. He's down. INZEM still has a chance of redemption, maybe even get the pickup. But literally the entire team followed in TJ's footsteps. Granted, that has worked in the past for Hive, but in that moment, they just got absolutely ate up, as you said. EU was eating them. All right, let's head into another map, or excuse me, another round. eUnited still has that lead. It's tough to chain together 2 in a row, though, it seems. So will eUnited be able to put themselves a map point? We'll find out after this. Powerz, he's going to be able to isolate INZEM. INZEM rotates in. TJ up top, though, able to down Kenny. That first blood, that could be the undoing, but I like the cross from Demise. Applying that pressure to Powerz, keeping him in check. INZEM throws out the frags. Powerz should be dead here. And Xplosive is last alive at 1v4. He's juggling knives. He knows it's over with. What else can you do? We're tied up 4-4.
Yeah, at this level of execution, the fights happen quick, but 1v4s? If we ever see a 1v4 in execution this split, hell, this next major, it could be one of the greatest 1v4s we ever saw, just based off the speed in which this game is played, because I don't think any 1v4 should ever come out, especially if a player don't have a power weapon.
Sure.
Even if he do got a power weapon.
And also, too, Blaze, keeping in mind that it is Execution 2.0. So you do have that ring that will be popping up for overtime, and teams are going to prioritize that. So if they get themselves in a 1v2, let's say it was a 1v4, someone starts clutching up, you better believe those 2 players are going to start rotating around to focus on that overtime hill, because that would be more of an easier way to win than it would be to obviously take up the guy who's on a rampage. Speaking of which, rampage is in 30 seconds. Hive puts themselves on that point.
All right, let's see if eUnited can win out here. They won 2 rounds to kick it off, 1-2 at the end, but going back to that last round, Demise made some big time plays. Him and INZEM was finally able to get towards that back pillar, push back Xplosive and Powerz, and just really take advantage of them and pull out away with those kills. So we'll see if they want to play a little bit passive, since they got a round to work with, and their opponent Their back's on a wall. At this point, Hive just needs first blood. They get first blood, they can win this map.
And there it is. First blood comes through. Make that second as Praized has gone explosive as well. And Hive is making it happen. 4v2, 4v1. Praized left up to his own devices. No frags down there, buddy. You're just going to have to push in and try and get an elimination. And wow, he does. Well, not just yet, I guess. He's going to go and throw out that utility. Still going to be a 1v4. And well, Blaze, we won't get that 1v4 clutch just yet. Well done. Hive, I gassed up eUnited when it comes to execution. Praized been playing on this map for like the beginning of time, but Hive, they get the win. Well done. A lot to break down here. I want your expertise as to why Hive was so successful. Did it come down to something as simple as first blood? I don't know. We'll definitely talk about that in a little bit. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So Hive comes through big, ties up the series where I expected eUnited to honestly get a pretty clean win here, lead 2-0, and move on to Escalation and close it out 3-0. But not going to be the case. I guess the bees are angry, man. The beekeeper was getting stung, and he says enough is enough, and ended up smoking them out. So well done from Hive, 6-4 victory. Blaze, now again, as I said, I want to pass it over to you because I felt eUnited was the power team coming into this map, with Powerz performing as well as he did with the M-Bar over just in Regency. You also have Praized been playing this map for quite some time, but Hive gets to win. Why is that?
Oh man, so in the earlier rounds of this map, it looked like eUnited had a great game plan on their good side. For the first two of the first 4 rounds, they were able to get that quick pick on snipe, get Powerz back. They were able to get some kills as well. Also, when those first bloods came through, they were able to capitalize off of Hive when they were getting aggressive. But Hive, round by round, gathering information from eUnited, they were able to gather enough to stop the quick pick, but then they were able to get even more information where they says, you know what? We know how to initiate on this now. Once these smokes go down, let's send 2 players towards the back lane, Let's send them towards mid-map. Get in here, put some pressure on Powerz and Xplosive. It didn't work out every round. So, they had some variety of sending INZEM down low for his 1v1, but they mixed it up. And once they got those bloods, man, they did a fantastic job closing out the round. And most importantly, they stopped the snipe pickup from eUnited. And after that, if that snipe was not a factor, then I didn't know how eUnited was kind of going to get that first blood.
Yeah, stopping the snipe was big because off the first 2 rounds, eUnited sent Powerz there. And Powerz gets the snipe pretty much unscathed both times. eUnited dominates those first 2 rounds. But then we seen a different level of aggression from Hive, TJ especially, pushing forward. And what was very encouraging was seeing the troops follow him. And not to mention, in execution, when you get it down, you cannot waste that opportunity. And Hive never wasted an opportunity. Once the down came in, they were pushing up and getting those eliminations.
Yeah, and also too, it felt like eUnited just had way more want and prioritization for picking up that scope. And on the flip end, Hive really didn't care. They didn't have no, they got a lot of talented snipers on their team, but they just did not care if they had it or not. They were just always looking for putting damage in on players and getting them with their base weapons, as eUnited may have had just the scope in the back of their mind just too much on some of those engagements.
All right, let's head into map number 3, Escalation on Vasgar. Very familiar territory for both. TJ played on this same roster of eUnited back whenever, obviously, it was 5v5. So he's very familiar with the strategies and the technique eUnited is going to be throwing their way. I'm curious if he will be able to relay those strategies over towards the rest of the roster, Demise, Solurs, and INZEM. And this is also going to be the first, or at least the second time, we get to see Demise play Escalation with this Hive roster. But for now, everybody at a standstill.
Yep, at a standstill right now, just posted up, waiting for this next bit of action to start. And that's going to happen over here kind of towards the A hill, as we see Demise and Kenny trading off on stun grenades, and Demise is going to connect with Kenny and has the height advantage. He's even going to take a better angle with his right hand, and so he's just going to relax there. This next fight may come down to the hands of Powerz and his 1v1, because I don't know if it kicks off down here on this bottom portion of the map just yet.
Trying to
Kenny gets behind enemy lines. He's going to Lancer both of those players in the back, and that's kind of why Demise is chasing him. But Kenny finds a sweet spot to get his health regen, and now he can fight.
Ooh, big win for Demise, though. If he loses that, knowing Kenny was there, figuring out that he was going on the flank, that would have been a massive L in my opinion. Solurs is down, and eUnited slowly but surely taking the 2-1 back in their favor. Pretty unorthodox place. Well, excuse me, Hive retakes it as Praized is gone.
Hive, yeah,
those two members move right in. This has been a very slow Vasgar map. Normally, we're seeing a lot of damage, a lot of kills, but pretty unorthodox so far.
Yep. And that's just because of the slow start. You know, eUnited wanted the 1v1 players to kind of make the play on that side of the map. But once the round kicked off, so far it's been nothing but action, Taylor. As it's just a 25-point lead for Hive, trying to build off of that. They will lose a player in this position. Solurs goes down. eUnited currently cleaning up the kills. Two members of Hive on the map, one off respawn, one in the eUnited spawn, that being Demise. He's going to try to wait for that prime opportunity to make a play, but Powerz already knows that he has to watch the flank since they've already fortified on one hill. They got to watch the one towards the back, so he's looking for Demise now, but he's going to see his head over the top. Demise showed himself just a little bit too early.
A little bit too early indeed. This is a great spot for eUnited. They can win the 2v2 currently over on A as well as on C. There's a lot that needs to go right. eUnited is going to be absolutely in the driver's seat. Things seem to be going very well, though, on this side of the map as eUnited gets closer and closer to getting onto B. TJ know where he can go in no man's land, and on the opposite end,
that could be the round.
Well, it's great for eUnited, and like you said, that's going to be the round. That is a domination. So a slow start at the beginning. eUnited, as you said, trying to apply that pressure onto the 1v1 players. Hive looks great, but then eUnited slowly but surely formulates a plan, executes it, wins the big 2v2 fights when it mattered most, and they take the round.
You know, I honestly think that's one of the best ways to move around this Vasgar map, you know, is in pairs of twos if you can, you know, because if you can ever identify that you guys may have to defend against a 3v2, your other duo knows they got a 2v1 somewhere, and they should be winning the game of rotations on the flip end versus the 3-man style wolf pack. You know, it works out, but, you know, sometimes that team wipe come through, the deaths come in so close together that you lose the round versus having multiple members all around the map being able to contend for a heal.
All right, another slow start potential. eUnited, though, being on the good side, it's going to give them an opportunity to strike first onto B. They also have A. And again, you'll see this 2v2 take place. Xplosive gets away. Very well done. Hugging that tank as closely as he could.
If he didn't blind fire his gun, he goes down. Now, in this fight, 2v2, currently, it is going to be a fight. Looking like it's going to be won by the boys of Hive. Actually, it's not over yet. It's a 1v1. The revive is there. Powerz steps up, tried to get the kills, but he's just going to back up to a position in which he can get a better fight and play his life. Those two Botox shots, 3 quick fires on Demise. One of the Botox gods of our league. He gets a taste of his own medicine there. And Kenny on the flank is able to get back and make sure he can secure his home hill. At this moment, eUnited, they're looking for another heal, and it seems like it's going to be B.
Yep, B is definitely going to be in the line of sight. 3 strong is going to be for eUnited. 2 will be rotating over. That's going to be Demise to join the fight with TJ and Solurs. Solurs up close and personal in a 1v2. He's down. Opportunity to get picked back up is in, and he does get back up. But even so, is it going to be worth it? Well, absolutely. Yes, sir. As now it's going to be Powerz by himself, 1v2, but holding his ground. 10 toes down, but ultimately ends up falling. And Hive's teamwork has been making the dream work. Kenny now knows he's going to be Lancer and misroll into INZEM, but quite honestly, he doesn't lose that much. Just back to the respawn screen. Big fight once again onto B, starting to initiate. Xplosive pushes up. Will they be successful in taking this hit? Well, let's find out as TJ is forced to retreat. Xplosive backtracking with Praized.
All right, so INZEM picks up the kill. TJ is able to assist, but that's after Solurs goes down, and on the map is currently going to be a 3v3 with the lead in favor of Hive. This B hill is going to be super important to defend, and they get to play it from a defensive position, which gives them that much of an advantage. Now, eUnited got a lot of offensive power on their squad, and Powerz finds a kill and gets back to cover.
Gets back to cover indeed. This is a close round. eUnited might be able to slip this through.
And reposition. That's El Capitan right there, letting them know, and Powerz knew what had to happen there.
Oh, man. Can eUnited sneak this one away? Well, it comes down to the B fight. That's going to be one from eUnited. On the other side, player 8's going to be by himself. He's going to get chunked. That was Kenny. Still a little bit of time remains, and you can see eUnited starting to spread themselves across the map, but they've got to collapse now. They do not have time to waste, and well, I think they know it's kind of over with. Player 6 hasn't even tried to advance forward. It's going to be a Hive round. We're going to be tied 1-1.
Yeah, both squads kind of trading off their bad sides on this map so far within rounds 1 and 2. But Hive, man, they played that one very, very well, from how they defended their home hill to start, but most importantly, how they were able to keep B hill in their control throughout most of the round. I think that's where most of their success happened at.
All right, well, let's see how round number 3 is going to go. Good stuff from Hive. Answering back, retros are now going to be in. And also to take note, eUnited is going back to checkpoint spawn, the spawn where they won previously. Granted, it wasn't easy. It was very close. They did get the domination at the end, but by the time they get the domination, the scoreline was deadlocked, what, 212 to 212. Let's see if they'll have more of a fruitful round this time. We'll see if the retros do help. They're going to break off in the typical fashion. 3 players from eUnited looking to challenge to 2 from Hive on B. Player 2, Demise, will rotate in to help. And we could have a potential standstill depending on if anybody drops or not. That's going to be the first drop, believe it or not.
That retro from afar. eUnited knows that player needs to get revived, so they got numbers somewhere on the map. They did choose not to go into that B pit, and that's a lot of discipline for them. They know what Hive's focus is going to be, so they made good usage of this retro lancer. Praized couldn't stay alive, and Xplosive has to reposition. He has some great support fire there for him, but Praized was also getting focused by the other Hive members as well. And this is the 3-man wolf pack that we see from Hive as they're trying to rotate through the D hill to get to C. So far, it's looking good for him, but Praized is back in action, and he's trying to fight.
He's definitely trying to fight tooth and nail if he can, but try. Demise takes him down, the new addition, and that's going to open up a free path to take over Charlie. You do have Powerz up ahead, but I don't think Hive is really too concerned with them. They should be, but they're going to try and utilize their numbers correctly, and Powerz is slippery, though. His ability to stay alive when you think he should be dead is pretty spectacular.
Oh, it really is. It really is. And a lot of that has to do, you know, with his movement and his understanding and awareness of the game. These boys here of Hive, man, they're playing great this round. You know, they pick up another double kill. They're starting to overextend. They're going to be able to pick up their opponent's home hill. They got their home hill as well at A. Xplosive knows he has to play for the decap, and he will be able to stay alive. He gets the 1v1 that he wants. He got some help on the back end. Nice back A. eUnited, man, they're fighting for their life in this round. But Hive, with this kill, close it out.
We'll definitely see. Oh, nice job from Solurs. That's going to be a 2-piece on Praized and Powerz. Kenny's also gone, and against all odds, Hive is making this work. That's 2 in a row. They win the good side, they win the bad side, and the opportunity to lead 3-1 heading into the second half has now become a reality. Solurs 10-4. He's having a standout game.
Yeah, he is. You know, Solurs does not want to lose to his old squad. He feels like he has found a team just as good on this side. And, you know, if you ever look at, you know, all the old members that used to kind of play on the Exotic Dynasty roster over the years, they all found themselves great teams, you know. They were all able to get close, if not win a championship, you know, rather if it's Solurs on Hive, IC on Rise, if it's Summons on PK, they always land somewhere nice, but they always want to come back and beat their old captain, some of their old teammates over here. So they working hard, and currently in this round, you're gonna have Hive with a first blood, looking to get towards this B hill to get the Beehive back in there, capture, and so far it's looking good.
So far looking good indeed. Man, if Hive can walk away with this Blaze and lead the series 2-1, we could have a special moment on hands where, who knows, they could really have a real shot to beat this eUnited roster. And I know that would make them very happy, especially Demise, right? Thinking, man, this is my new squad and we are making it happen, but still far away from that. Let me slow it down a little bit because eUnited, I know, is not going to go down that easy. They're going to get Alpha and Bravo. Oh, just about. B still not locked in.
Yeah, still not locked in just yet. So eUnited, they're gonna be able to put that one into their favor. And when it comes down to Demise, man, I like Demise coming back to Hive and playing with some of his brothers and being able to have, you know, he's gonna have INZEM on his squad as well. And he did, you know, kind of play with these, you know, all these guys at one point. And, you know, with him going to elevate, I feel like he had elevated his gameplay to such a point where that, you know, this team can be the old squad that they was before they took that, you know, devastating loss of losing Noli. So, you know, in the end, hey, Hive, they're back on top. Now they just need to kind of build off this new squad and, you know, put themselves back in that position when they won the mid-split playoffs.
All right, eUnited. Currently 2-1 hill cap. They're now about to lead by 50 points. That looks like it's going to go ahead and be tapered off a little bit. Powerz just runs through Demise. It's going to be forced to back off a little bit, but at least he keeps A decapped, and that's great for them because eUnited still has that lead and can battle once again to take it over. And it looks like this battle is going to be won by eUnited. INZEM is hungry for these eliminations, but just trying to find that right angle. Great shot into Powerz, and Hive cleans that up. These engagements Hive get into, sometimes it looks as if they're at a disadvantage, Blaze, but they find some way to make it out. And at this point in time, player 8's caught out in no man's land. Player 7's going to be by himself as well.
Oh, and that's the down that couldn't happen.
Yeah, Hive is threatening the domination soon, you would have to think.
Yeah, they're about to move into the beehive. Or if not, they're going to just keep the heals that they have. But they had to hunt down player 5, and they knew that, and they wasted no time because they recognized they had a 2v1 on that side of the map. Now their opponent's spawn is behind them, and this is where TJ's timing was messed up, or he's just not holding his LB button, because when you hit that LB button, you're going to see when your opponent's going to respawn. So he needs to know that before he crosses that street. And because those kills come through, we may see an eUnited special in the late game.
Ooh, eUnited special. I mean, come on, it is split 3, a fresh start, right? And what a better way to get it started off with an eUnited special. The possibility is there, but even so, they don't even need the special. They've already got the win condition and the win, it seems, and we're going to be tied up 2-2 heading into the second half. So where did it fall apart for Hive? Because they were looking so good.
TJ went through the spawn. He didn't pay attention to Kenny coming up. Kenny was the kill that came through as he was coming down the stairs at B, as the remaining Hive members were putting themselves in a position to get that heal. So at that moment, TJ and INZEM say, oh my God, we got a 2v1 against player 5. They get that. And then the light bulb went off, was like, yo, we can flank, I'm coming. But Kenny spawned up at the exact same moment with a spawn shield. He gets free shots. Those members of eUnited turn around, and with a man advantage, they take over the round in the late game.
Right.
Hive could have won off too. They just had to sit back off their numbers and just keep killing.
100%. And it's that lack of judgment towards the very end. You know, TJ making that one wrong move. It's kind of like you go back to, you know, Harbor just earlier between PK and VQ, that one critical round where the snub play, right, allowed Precision to get in and get the chunk, and then allows Handles then to get the cleanups after that. It's those small mistakes that can really catapult you to an L. eUnited tied up. It's got to make them feel good because Hive had a very real chance to lead 3-1. Seriously, up until the very end. INZEM. What's up that shot? He really wants Powerz dead.
Yeah, he does. Powerz was in that corner. He wants to get some damage because with Powerz being that slight corner there, no way he should be able to back roll, stay alive as long as he did. But, you know, they were not wary of that flank on the back end of the map. Hive did a good job being able to single out Kenny in the back and take a 2v1 early on to get the D heal. But after they did that, it also opened up eUnited to be able to flank the other 2 players on the other side of the map. And this is what I talk about when I keep mentioning a game of numbers and rotations. You're understanding your 2-2 fights and your 3v2s and your 2v1s, and you have to take them. You have to take them. You can't play passive on Vasgar.
Okay, so currently all hills at a disarray. You're going to see Hive probably take the 2-1 for themselves. 5 might change that. He's going to be challenged onto Demise. Demise needs to hold his ground at this point in time. Praized, though, he's not going to get his life away unnecessarily. Question as Demise just about takes him out with the Lancer fire. I think he did have some help in the background. eUnited now is a full force, and Praized going to have more confidence to be able to push forward now that he does have his brothers at arms who's going to be able to assist him. Still very early. Scoreline incredibly close. So at this point, it's anybody's ball game.
It is. Hive has already identified that there's 3 players on this side of the map. They call it out to their teammates, and instead the shift is player 1 comes back. Hive say, we got to lead. We don't have to play the game of rotations and take our numbers. Let's just defend with our numbers. And so far, the 3v3 fight just turned into a 3v1. Now, it's only Hive members on the map. That's a wipe on the side of eUnited, and it's looking like it's going to be a domination from Hive.
Well done. That's going to be a lead 3-2. Unless maybe a touch can happen. Explosive is close. Yeah, he gets in. Well, Solurs with the spacing, though. Will he be able to clutch? I don't think he... Oh, it's one who came from the side. INZEM was there for the help. But he's not the savior that Solurs needed. eUnited will, in fact, take their hill. 5 gets a break off 2, and that's going to be Praized, who's going to be able to get the successful decap, maybe even full cap on the E. Talk about a recovery, but not enough yet to make eUnited feel comfortable. They need to be on all 3 hills, but Blaze, they're doing it.
I love when I'm wrong about dominations because it just makes the moment so much more exciting. I'm sorry if I juke you out, Hive fans, but they had a great opportunity, couldn't get back in time, and now their home hill will be lost. But luckily enough for you guys, TJ wins a big 1v1 at the top portion of the map against Praized to keep the E hill locked in. Now Hive, they got a 2v2 fight down low at the home hill. A 1v1 up top, they lose the 1v1. And the 2v2 ain't looking too good for them right now in the moment. But this is the spawn, so you have to worry about it. Powerz quickly gets the kill and then cover. He had to reload, so he can't take out TJ.
Decap will be enough, I think. Wouldn't it? Oh, man.
Yeah,
it's going to be close, Blaze.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, Taylor. The decap is enough. And once again, in the late portions of the round.
It's so close.
Swarm still has it. You're right. I was right. I'm sorry.
Another late one. Another late game where eUnited comes out on top. And you have to take into account that this has to be emotionally draining for Hive.
Yeah, especially when you think about you have another emotionally draining map or a game mode that's coming up, which is Control. You know, that you just lost 300 to 196.
Stamina for that.
Man, stamina is a very real thing in Pro League now. Even for casters, Blaze. Hey, these broadcasters, they're going to get longer and longer, I'm telling you.
They will, actually.
You know, they're going to be upwards
now
8 hours long.
We are all about to level up because, you know, who doesn't love a little bit of pressure? You know, that's how we evolve, okay? That's how we get better. You know, we just need to, you know, a little lengthier broadcast. Next thing you know, about the end of the split, man, we're going to all be conditioned for the major. It's going to be one of the craziest majors we've ever seen.
Major's going to be light work. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be light work. And these squads are going to put on the best show ever. But, folks, we gotta keep this show on the road, okay? eUnited. These last 2 rounds have been something special for them, so they are feeling confident. Now, I will like to say that they are not on their good side anymore. Those last 2 rounds, they were on their good side. So now Hive is back there. They traded rounds on their bad side early on, so Hive is really, they're still in this game. They just need to take this one and tie it up 3-3.
Yeah, a couple people in chat saying, oh, Hive is choking again. Not necessarily. It's still very much so in the air. You don't know who's going to win it, I mean, at this point. Now, it is discouraging that TJ and Solurs do die off, and eUnited will be successful in taking the 2-1 back. And you can look at their map positioning. They're going to be able to count numbers quite easily. They know Hive is going to be sending their reinforcements over to try and engage onto the tank hill. Praized in a very talented spot, though. Getting that trade was big. Demise also falling. This is going to be an eUnited cleanup, and that's going to give them even more of a lead.
Yeah, that's a wipe there on the side of Hive.
Oh, that's a domination.
D-Hill is getting decapped. 3 players will be on top. And this will be a domination on eUnited's bad side this round. So kudos to them because they worked hard for these last 3 rounds and they just got momentum in their hands. I don't know if Hive is going to be able to fight back in this one, but I tell you, man, if they can win this map, they got a lot of hope for them on that Control.
Yeah, I really do. And that's kind of the same narrative I had with PK and VQ. You know, I needed to see VQ win Escalation. Naturally, they win Execution game number 5 after they lost Control, which talk about flipping the script, because that's not how at least the first 3 or the first 2 Control and Execution worked out. But with that being said, I think eUnited is going to be much more conditioned to head into the next Controls. So Hive, you got to win 3 straight. And quite honestly, this is a do or die moment for them.
Yeah, it really is. This is the round here. Like you said, win 3 straight, be perfect. As far as power weapons on the map, it's going to be even. At 120 seconds, both squad will be able to get a shock grenade and incendiary grenade. We'll see how they get put to good use here. Do they want to split them off? Yes, they will. Make sure that they get a nade in all portions of the map here. Everyone has something to work with. eUnited choosing to send and run a 3-1 strategy. This time they're going to send 3 players down low. Hive is matching the numbers at F. The flash grenades hit the ground, but the shock grenades is going to break the setup of eUnited and Hive once again in a good position off this initial.
A great position. They need this at this point. Can't allow eUnited to kind of run away with this. You notice Hive will back off. They're not going to get overzealous. There's no reason to at this point. They're going to wait for eUnited to come off respawn, count the numbers just like eUnited did in the round previously, right? Hive can do the exact same thing and get a domination here, but it's just really dependent on how clean this fight goes.
The Lancers are there, but with INZEM being cleaned up, the Lancer fire has to back up. It could not slow down eUnited in that moment. So now they're trying to figure out, how do we keep this round alive here? How do we not, you know, stagger our deaths? So they're going to completely retreat towards safety. With Powerz getting that kill, if that player was able to stay alive, then, you know, maybe eUnited will back themselves up into a defensive position, and you can force eUnited to do that and to play that smart. And if you can have that type of foresight, maybe that's when you catch them off guard. You're able to turn the tables on them because they're going to make the smart play. But in this moment, they feel so good, feel so confident, so comfortable.
Big engagements here. Praized. Will he be the hero? Not this time. And Hive will make a breakout. They know they're going to sprint over towards D. Player 6 is going to try and meet them head first. It's going to be Powerz. Will we see that slaying power we have seen before on control? Well, the possibility's there, but Hive is going to be smart about it. They're going to rotate player 3 Solurs around. You can see the impact Solurs just had. Kitty now joins into the mix. eUnited comes off the respawn. 7 has snuck over to the right side. He's going to get the decap on F, but at least for this fight currently with Hive on D, they've got it locked down.
All right, yeah, Hive definitely has it locked down. This is their opponent's home heal. Hive won the 1v1 at F. That was huge for him, because this gets capped up and that player overextends to the neutral. eUnited knows that they have to win this. Powerz loses all his teammates. He's hiding. His opponent doesn't know. They go on the flank. They're gonna see him at the last second, but oh, this is a 1v1 for him. TJ knows he can't peek anymore. He's gonna make this as hard as possible here. But eUnited came off the respawn. Did Powerz buy them enough time? Surely,
this could be.
Surely Hive doesn't blow this round.
Oh, this could be deadly again, depending on if eUnited can wipe off these members of Hive. That's going to be just devastating. INZEM, though, tries to get a trade. Xplosive still up, and he's going to be able to get Kenny back up. That's 3 on the map to the 1 of Hive. 6 now is going to be in a 1v1. He's going to have to challenge Demise. Player 5 will join in the mix. F is going to be decapped. The round might have just been blown.
Decaps get more time. This can go either way, Taylor, but now with that flame grenade coming out, I think Hive finally gets the round. They'll fortify around this E-Hill, but man, you see how much pressure eUnited puts on people? How you got to play to the end of the round, because if not, it gets scary. It gets scary. And going back to that moment, Hive was in a 3v3 fight at eUnited's home hill. They had just won a 1v1 at F and got it captured. That 1v1 player is going over towards that last hill. We saw 2 quick kills come out for Hive, but Powerz brought so much time as Hive was just taking their sweet time trying to kill him. In the end, man, you know, eUnited caught them off guard as they were not ready for that next 3v3 fight.
It has to be a mentality difference when you see Hive trying to just solidify that round only for eUnited to get back into it. It's eUnited is just mentally strong, man. And again, they do that all the time. They're not phased at all by they know, okay, the round is already lost. Now at this point in time, if we full send it and we get counter wiped, it doesn't work out, all right, we were going to lose it anyways. We just didn't have the points in our favor. So they just commit absolutely everything to it. And they're willing to lay everything on the line. That's what makes them so strong in those final pushes, right? That's why we call it the EU special, because they just aren't phased by the point lead, or if their back is against the wall. They're built different. They don't work that way. Potential final round again for eUnited. They're at match point, or map point, I should say, excuse me. But Hive is fighting tooth and nail for this, and both shocks are out of the way. So at this point, less utility to be used. You'll still have the ensigns, but those shocks could have been beneficial. Powerz wastes the ensign, and now at this point, Hive is going to be able to push up and at least stay alive.
Yeah, and stay alive indeed. Now, let's see, as this battle is gonna break out at this E-Hill, it's gonna be a stalemate down low. So we're gonna have Demise and Solurs versus Powerz and Kenny in this position of the map. Player 7 trying to see if he can get an angle to see if he can help the squad over there, get a lance for another side of the map. Praized knows that he can take these 2 players out no problem. If not, they'll just take themselves out.
That's tough. You gotta stop. It's like INZEM and execution, man. You know, taking himself out with the frag. I don't know what's going on with these boys, but they're doing just fine. Man, still, the initial underway blaze. Neither team budging. Both teams fighting for control. It's a battle of attrition. Who is finally going to be able to strike first? I don't know. It's still undecided.
It is. The wide angles from Praized and allowed Xplosive to work around the sides, but the double down is there. Praized not able to get in for the revive. And now throughout the entirety of this fight, the D-Hill also never got capped. I think if eUnited could have got that D-cap and just set up for another 2v2 fight at D-Hill, they would have been great. But instead, Xplosive and Praized, they want to press forward and take their 2v1. They didn't win it in time before the respawn came through.
Well, Hive will take the 2-1, so finally start to at least establish some dominance.
Wow.
But I mean, Powerz and just in conjunction with his teammate, just not allowing Demise to breathe whatsoever. Solurs picks up the instance. This is going to make eUnited think twice about this push. Well, at least he throws it to the left. Powerz kind of just stays where he's at, and he's going to get taken down. Kenny makes a break for it. He wants this flank on the TJ, but he's been spotted out. Either way, TJ's position doesn't get any easier, but maybe he clutches up here. Still alive, now gone, and Praized. Hit some great shots. TJ and INZEM are out of the way. Still very close in scoreline. eUnited, if they can get a D-cap and a full cap here, Hive will not have the win condition, but they got to do it quickly.
Yeah, they got to do it quickly indeed here. We'll see if they can make that happen. Now, eUnited, they will be able to get a player down, and this hill is not capped up just yet. They will have some fall as well. They got two Lancers focused on the fight, but that player in front being Kenny, he's distracting the Lancers to get his players up and get the revive there as well. But, you know, in the end, it will work out for him.
Nice shots from Powerz. TJ, Solurs gone. This late in the game, eUnited starting to heat up as they typically do. They're going to go ahead and spread themselves thin, but in the right areas to isolate the Hive members. Demise was one of them they isolated. Player 4 of INZEM was the other. Domination doesn't come in, but eUnited is well on their way to winning this round, and I think it's going to be theirs. This is about to be a 5-3, and eUnited will be up 2-0 if maybe barring a miracle. Hive, what are you doing?
Nah, they don't get to the other hills in time.
That would have been wild. Well done from eUnited Blaze. They're going to lead 2-0, or excuse me, 2-1 in this series.
Man, and you know, it is so many rounds. Like, Hive could have honestly been up 4-1 here. They could have had a 4-1 commanding lead going into control Reactor. And that's the thing, they got to go to control Reactor. And I hope they've been practicing it as much as they have TG, District, and Regency.
Right. Yeah, Control Reactor's wild. Have you had a chance to play it or watch it, Blaze? Because just the fights are incredible. Obviously, that middle portion of the map where you can literally see 360 across. You're battling for the Torpo off the rip plus the hill. It is chaotic. And there's a lot of angles where sneaky man potential can take place. And they do take place. So you got to keep your head on a swivel. And a lot of things have to go right to be successful on Control Reactor.
Yeah, you will see some secret mans out there. But, you know, the thing is about this map is, as you said, there's so many different angles and lanes in which you can utilize it. The mid portion of the map is going to be well utilized as well. But it just comes down to how much practice these squads have put in this map to learn those angles, to learn those setups, to properly learn how to use that mid-map angle to cross from your teammates and rotate to next. You know, that takes time, that takes reps. And I don't know if any of these two squads have that many reps, but the eUnited being a team that kind of picks up things faster than others, maybe they got something in their back pocket to use here on Reactor. And I'm trying to see how creative they're going to get. But on a flip in Hive, this is a must win for them. Checkout will be our last map. I think they could be very successful there, but they have to win this control map. And you go back to look at the first control that we played, you know, they kept it close within a 70-point margin. It didn't feel like it was close because of all the plays in which eUnited was making and how it always felt like they were a step ahead on power weapons and rotations.
There's no way eUnited picks Reactor control. Like, there's just no way they pick that without having some formulated plan. I expect them to dominate this map, quite honestly. I really do. You know, depending if Hive has been practicing. But, you know, to be honest with you, I don't see a lot of teams scrimming Reactor control. You know, they're going back to the tried and true, you know, Regency, of course, you see that. You see training grounds a lot. District, you see a lot, which funny enough, we haven't seen any district control as of yet, you know, which is quite surprising because that has been a very popular one throughout scrims. But maybe the reason why we don't see it is because they know it's an evenly based map. But Reactor control is I mean, it is pretty chaotic. We didn't have a chance to really cast Reactor too much during Escalation when it was
Everybody
there in the 5v5 days. You know, we saw it a couple times, but it was all 5 those 5
got rid
ones.
of that map. We saw probably like PK and Fire and Ice. I think they played it once, and whatever team Chaos was on, I think he won. But you know, that was a long time ago. Okay, that was a long time ago. Rebel and TPC, yeah, that's what it was. And it was a cool match. It was a 5-0. It was a hot 5-0. But from there, man, squads just never touching it because especially at that level of the esports, especially at that time, you know, they wanted to just play on the maps in which they had the most reps in, especially as you go into a major. Yeah, you can perfect Reactor. You could try to get it there. But if everybody's auto-banning it, you gotta ask yourself, do we want to just, you know, do we want to get it? Can we even get the pick? How much time do we want to waste scrimming a map that we may not even play?
It's true. It is very true. I guess this early on, eUnited just, you know, kind of spotted an opportunity and they're going to take it. Rubik's is a mad genius. He knows what he's doing. Okay. He knows what he's doing. He's like, hey, he's over there thinking like, all right, I know what we're going to do. We're going to play Reactor. And then Powerz or Xplosive are like, what? What do you mean we're going to play Reactor?
You got to get a whole coaching staff some credit. You got to go Rubik's. You got to go Sleepy Time. You got to go Burns. And whatever input Explosive and Kenny is putting in as well. I think on the back end, Praized and Powerz is like, where you want me to shoot? Just point. You know,
it's funny. I saw the announcement tweet of the new roster eUnited put out there, and then I saw Burns kind of slide in there. He was like, I thought I was going to be on the roster. I saw he was doing a charity stream. I saw him playing. You know, he was confused about the flamethrower burning him to a crisp. You know, it was actually really entertaining to watch Burns play. I think
Burns was probably the freshest coach that we ever had in Gears of War history at an event in London. So I don't think anyone has. Yeah, he came out with the whole suit, man. He was looking clean.
Oh, shoot. Pulling off a Hilton. Fair enough, man. Look, I used to cast over Burns back in the day, Blaze, so it's kind of nice to see him still in. Hey, man, a lot of the OGs from back in COD, they continue to stay around. Also, obviously, in Gears. You love to see it. Let me stop reminiscing about the past of being a boomer. Hey, OGs, baby. OG all day. I don't know why I said it like that. eUnited, they start to take the lead. Praized, fighting for the mid control. This is going to be a critical portion of the map to count numbers, to get angles. That was a nasty fight, though. And TJ, missed a lot of shots. That was ugly. That was, get that out of here.
It wasn't nasty. It was an ugly fight, okay? When we use nasty around here, that's in a good context, okay? Ugly is never in a good context, unless it's like, ugh, that was ugly, all right?
So it can be in a good context, you know?
Yeah, well, you're right. It's all about tone, you know? Anywho, but we're not going to go into Ebonics right now, okay? Because currently here on Reactor, you got the boys of Hive having a difficult time trying to push down low and get this heal. But as you see, they will be able to rotate back. They get the kill on player number 7, and now they're currently comfortable. They've pushed this out. They're going to make this even harder for eUnited to get around this curve. So this is where that mid map is utilized.
And mid-map is going to be with Powerz. So Powerz, he's going to go ahead and scout out, see what's going on. Spots INZEM, so at least that's a little bit more information from Praized. Kenny and Xplosive are going to be on the opposite side. Now look at this angle Praized is going to have if Kenny and Xplosive decide to push up. Praized is going to be very valuable, as well as with the stun. He's going to throw that out. This is going to be great to isolate Demise. Demise has no idea he's pushing up. TJ now is gone. Pick him off one by one and slowly progress forward.
So far, it's looking good for him. TJ is coming off the respawn. Demise is dead, but all of eUnited is alive. And as they are trying to get into this heal, player 5 got caught out in a respawn. So he got sandwiched between multiple players on the top portion of the map. No, he knows not to be in that spot again if the kills fall that way. But Torpo will be acquired, and it's looking like the boys of Hive may be rotating towards next with 14 left on the hill.
Shock's going to be picked up from INZEM. Shocks are going to be great on this map. Look at this. I mean, you can literally cover the entire middle portion of mid if you have a well-placed Shocked, and this is the time to use it, especially with eUnited currently occupying this new hill. They've got a decent level, 20 points, I should say. But that torque bow, how much of an impact does it really have? I tell you what's going to have an impact, though, those nades. If Demise can throw both of those nades, it's pretty much curtain for Praized.
Yeah, man, those nades will have a huge impact, and he may not even need to throw them here in this position. You got to respect that cover. Any player that plays there, you don't want to just slide up into it and give him a free shot. But so far, when it comes down to this middle hill, Hive is doing a fantastic job looking around the map. I'm paying attention to the mini map. I see where those arrows are pointing. They're calling out to each other, and they're making this very difficult for eUnited to be able to get up these ramps.
TJ, what's he going to be up to? Just kind of scouting around. You mentioned those ramps. Yeah, very, very hard to get through. This would be the perfect, time to really have that shock to utilize. But
and speaking of the shock grenade, I will like to say I love the weapon placements in all these maps. Most of our control maps, you are going to have a shock grenade and a frag grenade along center line. You're going to have one power weapon, one power weapon. Rather, if it's a M-bar, a drop shot, or a torque bow, I think that brings a lot of balance because these nades are powerful. You got 2 frags on one side. You got a shock grenade to take out certain choke points that will give you actual points and control in certain scenarios. And so seeing the usage of these grenades is very fun for me because I love seeing a strategy in it, but I definitely feel like it's balanced there as far as the weapons go down. And some people may be asking, where are the secondaries? Ooh, that's a lot of firepower at this level. Sometimes that'll just slow it down too much.
You don't want to do that either, right? Control, I think, is meant to be a very fluid game mode where you have constant rotations, constant engagements, and too slow would be quite boring to watch, quite honestly. I think this is a great pacing overall across all maps, and you're right. I give a testament over to the weapon swaps and the power weapons that we currently have. I think they flow quite well. eUnited is starting to take a lead, Blaze, and they're heating up. Look at Xplosive picking up one. Demise, he's going to be finished off by Praized. Good spacing. TJ trying to isolate the Xplosive. He's going to be Lancered in the back from the corner, though. It's going to be Kenny, and Kenny will get the team pickup, I think, and he's on his final down. Unfortunately, he's gone, but either way, Hive picks up a couple of eliminations, but United picks up the points, and you take your pick. Which one's more important?
Yeah, exactly, right? So, and it's looking like Hive is saying, hey, you know what? We're about to get up out of here. We need to make sure that we can get towards the next one and rotate, but this is where that center map positioning comes in so clutch because eUnited, as Hive's rotating, they're right on their heels, okay? They're spreading out away from the hill because Kenny is an anchor of information and he's feeding Xplosive that information. The players are rotating and now they are going to be in a spot for this next team fight. They have a lead, but they know not to stay for too much scrap time. What's most important is being in position to contest for that next hill.
Absolutely, and this hill's going to be an interesting one. Praized with that shot. This is going to be great. Throws it out there as soon as Demise pushes up. That's going to drop him. The opportunity for Xplosive to get the cleanup is in. He collapses, and there's TJ and Solurs gone. Again, those shocks, massive. Even that people may think shocks aren't a flash, right? We're always focused on the long shot, the M-bar, the torque bow, right? The great eliminations, the big power plays, but those shocks can be just as impactful, and you can see the impact it just had.
Yeah, you definitely can. So they were able to be able to force those guys out, get the kills, but now you see how they're set up. Now TJ with a nice flank through mid-map. He gets damage on the back of these players. Hive, they use this cover wisely, and they will win all of their engagements to be able to rack up the majority of the time left on this hill. So they're looking good there. And eUnited knows that they cannot contest with them at this point. So if I'm eUnited, I'm rotating towards next, and I do believe it's going to be, I think, in that bottom right-hand corner of the minimap.
I think so. You can see player rate already starting to head over there. That's Xplosive. He's ahead of the game. He should be setting up, and these hills are so unique. So unique compared to really any map out there. Just the amount of coverage and angles you have. I mean, it really is chaotic. And the more that I watch it, I'm becoming a big fan of it. I hope we do see Reactor more. Just with the way it plays, I'm really enjoying it.
I think some of the smarter teams out there can really make this map a staple in their rotation, and it can catch some others off guard because of the multiple lanes and the power weapons. And you see some of these choke points and angles in which you can take. You know, I would love to see franchise play this in Control if he was with the Riot Squad and kind of see what those boys come up with. Just, you know, it's based off experience and you know, and players who kind of been in these situations before coming up with strategies with Crossfire and everything. So I will say I love what Hive has set up now currently. They're slowly moving back, but as they're moving back, they're getting shot. And I want to see them hold this line just a little bit more, but they find themselves into some difficult positions, and Solurs is going to get focused out now. And I don't know, Hive, their focus fire just is not there.
Highly unfortunate too, man, because I was about to really start praising Hive with just their good comeback, great defensive work, but yeah, and the frag too from eUnited didn't make things any easier. You know, that ended up taking out one player from Hive, and he's 30. The 30 points is going to be huge for eUnited. That puts them that much closer to 300. It's a more competitive game though than we've seen, I think, earlier on Regency, but even so, eUnited is getting scarily close to taking away with this. Next hill, Solurs is there. And the Cavalry is there or at least is going to be rotating over to help them. It's going to be a 3v3 battle. I'm looking at Hive's inventory. Do they have shocks? No, not anymore. But TJ did get the fresh torque bow. That's going to be massive.
It's going to be very massive. He's going to have to connect with these 5 shots, actually 3 shots left in the bow. That was a quick one. Got a little bit of splash damage on him, but that's it. Now that player that's in the corner there, that's a power position where Praized is. Because to clear that, you have to clear the players in front of you first. So he's at a beautiful spot to be able to contest his heal. I think, to me, that's equivalent to like the God spot on training grounds. Oh, he caught him. That was a big bow.
eUnited looking to get that break. Solurs gone. And I like the way eUnited is pacing these hills, Blaze, especially in their position. When they have the point lead, so when they approach a hill, they don't just bum rush in. Some teams will do that, and I've seen that you know, throughout other series, whether it be yesterday or today. eUnited paces it out well. They come in slowly and methodically. They don't rush it, right? That's a beautiful thing about it. I think teams are expecting that headbutt in the hills, but they don't get that.
You know why they
eUnited.
do it like that, right? That's training from the eUnited special, closing in all lanes, pinching your opponent, making sure no one's behind you, and the squad's on the same page. They do it quicker than any other team that's out there, and that's why sometimes it feels like if you and your squad are on the same page, you feel that. You sometimes feel like you are always a man down playing against these guys. So that's where some of the great IGLs in our league come into play. This is where they earn that paycheck, all right? This is where they earn their teammates' respects to be able to move just as quickly around the map as these eUnited guys. But as you see here, with 10 seconds remaining, eUnited is in a victory position.
They definitely are. Will 163 be the cap Hive is at? Well, that chainsaw solidifies it. I'm not so certain TJ gets a break. Thank you. So 300 to 163. I was really hoping that exit would have been cleaner, but it is what it is. For eUnited, it was just as clean as it could be. 3-1 victory. They stay undefeated.
Yeah, congratulations to eUnited. An impressive 3-1 victory for me, man. I feel like these guys look good. You got explosive there, 32 eliminations, 14 downs. They're in the end, your MVP, and rightfully so.
Rightfully so, indeed. Great series. And a telling one, you know, for eUnited. Struggling, the most on... Execution Clocktower, you know, a map that you wouldn't expect them to lose, but they did. Back to the drawing board they go, but fair enough. I think all around eUnited looked very, very strong. Their control, without question, Blaze, is going to be a force to be reckoned with any team that has to play them. They won pretty well, pretty dominantly. Regency, they won 300 to 196. Control Reactor, we just witnessed 300 to 163. Escalation, they're deadly just as they've always been. Obviously, that championship roster. I think all around eUnited is looking like the most well-rounded team, which I say that even though F&I has won 6 maps in a row.
I was about to say, Taylor, because you wasn't going to say it. I was going to say, yeah, they look rounded, but they ain't undefeated so far in maps. There's only one squad in our league with that one. And that's the boys of Fire and Ice.
But eUnited also just beat, you know, I mean, who have they had to play? Well, first and foremost, Fire and Ice beat PK 3-0. Yeah. So maybe I am very wrong. But then again, Fire and Ice also played Team Queso, and then they just played Digital Gaming. So they're actually 3-0. No, man, these guys are 3-0, and they are 9-0 in round count now because they beat Digital Gaming earlier.
They beat them 3-0. So hey, they're looking good, man. They're looking like the best team in the league, if you ask me.
I agree.
But eUnited not too far behind. They're not too far behind, and I think they're just going to get even deadlier as this goes on. But you know, for me, it just sets up our rematch between Fire and Ice and eUnited whenever we get that one.
Yeah, some things I'll tell you, you know, offline on that one may not be as exciting as we're expecting it to be, but I definitely do. We'll figure it out. I hope